Hey guys, hope you're doing okay. Hope you're hanging in there. I wanted to share with you a beautiful lesson from this week's Torah portion. It's another doubleheader, Behar, Bechukosai. In life, we come across all kinds of people. You come across people who are very empathetic, very considerate, and sometimes you come across people who are a little less considerate of others. What gives somebody that empathy? Why do we have all these different kinds of people? In this week's Torah portion, Behar, God reveals himself on a mountain. Seems like a very appropriate place, on a nice high place, God is revealing himself. But the Medrash tells us this was Mount Sinai, the smallest of all mountains. So what's the lesson God was trying to tell us? Great humility seems like kind of a paradox. Moses had the same paradox. He's called the most humble man who ever lived. At the same time, the Torah says he was the greatest prophet, the greatest leader who ever lived. How can he be the most humble and the most great? The Torah tells us there's a misconception with humility. Humility doesn't mean to think of yourself as less than. Humility means to think of others more. When you see an injustice, humility isn't to be quiet and say, "Who am I to speak up?" True humility is to realize that what is needed in that situation is for you to stand up. Humility is not passive, it's not fear-based. Humility is knowing what needs to be done in that moment and doing it and putting yourself on the side, putting your ego on the side, and doing it because that's what's needed in that moment. That's true humility. It's a lifelong journey, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of work. What made Moses the most amazing leader and the greatest leader was that he always put others first. And that true humility was the defining characteristic that made him such a powerful leader. When God reveals himself on Mount Sinai, God is telling us, you are not less than, you are not a nobody. To be humble means not to think of yourself less, but to think of others a little more. Do what needs to be done. Stand up. Do what needs to be done in every situation. If you have to be quiet in that situation, be quiet. If the situation calls for you to say something, say something. Do what needs to be done, and let's put ourselves on the side. Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you soon.